I'm Charles Duncan. I'm director of the Shorebird Recovery Project at the Manomet Center for Conservation Sciences.
What are you doing in Argentina?
We're here with a group of supporters and friends to learn about 3 pride campaigns that we've been doing with RARE here in Argentina. They have the focus of conserving habitat, changing behavior that threatens the red knot, an endangered species that migrates from the Arctic to Argentina and back.
Tell me why the red knot's so interesting.
Red knot is one of the most migratory species on the entire planet. It covers almost 20,000 miles in a year. We've been following one bird in particular, B95 as we call him, for the name on his leg band. And B95 we know for an absolute fact is at least 17 years old and has flown the distance from the Earth to the Moon and is on his way back. So there's a lot to learn about migration, there's a lot to learn about habitats, and one of the things that fascinates me about working on migratory bird conservation is we live in a world these days that has any number of things that divide us as people. These birds unite us as people around their migration routes.
So give me an example of what is so fascinating about the journey that red knot takes.
If we start in the Canadian Arctic in July, eggs are hatched, they fly enormous distances to 2 stopover sites, James Bay and then the Mingan Archipelago of Quebec, and then it's probably a non-stop flight of 7 or 8 days from there. No water, no food, no stopping. You don't do it, you die, into South America. And then from there all the way south to the southernmost tip of land in South America at Tierra del Fuego. So it's an incredible journey these guys are doing in terms of the physiology, in terms of the places they go, the habitats they visit, and figuring out how a bird that weighs about the same as an iPhone can do that is an amazing thing for us.
What is it that threatens the, what's the state of the red knot and what are the threats to it?
Red knot is surely one of the most threatened animals in the world. It's fallen from a population of about 90,000 in the year 2000 to a current population of 30,000 or even lower. A terrible crash, if you will. The single biggest cause is overharvesting of horseshoe crabs in the Delaware Bay. The knots need the horseshoe crab eggs, which the crabs lay in May, as food to make it from Delaware Bay up to the Arctic for the breeding season. But at the same time, states like New Jersey have taken real leadership roles in controlling that threat. We need to make sure that here in South America there's good habitat and that the people understand this incredible migratory treasure that comes through their towns.
And what are the threats to red knots in Patagonia?
In Patagonia, red knots face threats of several different kinds. They're fairly site-specific. At 2 of the most important sites, in Rio Grande on Tierra del Fuego, Argentina, and at Rio Gallegos, a city in Santa Cruz province of Argentina, the biggest threat seems to be improperly managed solid waste, household trash, things like that ends up on the beach, interrupting the habitat. But at the same time, that trash on the beach sends a terrible signal to people that no one cares about this place and it must not be important if it's all trashy. So addressing those threats of trash have the secondary effect of raising the importance of the place in people's eyes. At the northbound stopover site in San Antonio Este, Argentina, the biggest threat is recreational use of vehicles, off-road vehicles on the beach, disturbing the birds, keeping them from feeding, and fattening up to be in good condition when they arrive in the United States, probably by a non-stop flight of 8 or 9 days as they leave southern Argentina and go all the way to Florida in the U.S.
And so Manomet and RARE with local NGOs in Argentina, can you describe the work? Can you describe these organizations and the work we're doing together?
The Manomet Center for Conservation Science has had interest in shorebird and shorebird conservation for almost 40 years. It's been a worldwide leader in shorebird conservation and has been involved in Argentina studying these birds, learning their habits, and also understanding the nature of these threats. When Manomet discovered that we really needed to be able to reach the local people, that was a skill set that we didn't really have. And fortunately we knew our partners and friends at RARE, who are experts worldwide in social marketing and finding ways to change behavior for people working at sites. So we decided that this would be a perfect partnership, bringing our shorebird science and our connections with local people and Rare's incredible skill set around social marketing and changing behaviors.